welcome to E&, at GITEX, Leading Digital Transformation, the Forbes podcast, where we spotlight the leaders defining the next chapter of innovation, transformation, and growth across the region and beyond. Today, we're joined by Harrison Lang, Group Chief Strategy Officer at E&. Over the past 2 years, Harrison has played a key role in steering E&'s evolution from a leading telecom operator to a global technology group, shaping the company's strategy across consumer, enterprise, fintech, and international markets. His work sits at the intersection of vision, execution, and impact, balancing bold investments, regulatory foresight, and sustainability with measurable growth. In this episode, we'll unpack these strategic decisions guiding E&'s transformation, from portfolio alignment and M&A priorities to the future of tech convergence, global expansion, and long-term value creation. Harrison, great to chat with you today. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Always great to chat with you as well.
Tell us about the strategic trade-offs that you have really had to consider in driving E&'s transformation journey over the past 2 years.
It's an interesting question because strategy is actually not about what you do, it's about what you don't do. And within our overall capital allocation framework, we actually assess each opportunity both individually and holistically. We look at the financial return, the strategic nature of each investment, but also at the same time, look at how each may or may not add to the overall group financials.
And that brings us to KPIs. What is the key KPI that you are tracking across the group's portfolio?
For us, the most important KPI is really about creating value for our shareholders. This could mean for our stakeholders and how we operate within the various communities that we work in delivering the ultimate customer experience of which we deliver our services, and of course financially, how we deliver things like revenue, EBITDA, as well as net profit to our shareholders.
And then how do you ensure strategic alignment across consumer, enterprise, fintech, and international units? I mean, you're working with a lot here.
Yeah, we've grown significantly in the last 3 years. And we also have been very fortunate to have shareholders that is supportive of this growth and expansion. It is up to each one of us at the management team level to understand the different trade-offs of where we invest our money, as well as time and resources, because all of those is in some ways a finite resource. So we want to make sure that we do the best that we can in driving the ultimate outcome that we need to these shareholders.
Share with us a lesson that you have learned about managing regulatory risks globally.
This is also very interesting. As you know, with our recent investment and acquisition of PPL, we extended ourselves into the European continent. And with that comes new regulatory frameworks of which we operate in. Now, one thing that is ultimately very clear, whether it's in the telecom space, the fintech space, the cybersecurity phase, where we're talking about cybersecurity and sovereignty and data, we always operate within the framework and the guardrails of the country or the geography of which we operate in. Now, of course, the most interesting thing is because we are in over 30 countries, we actually get a very good cross-section of what the framework is about. And in some ways, we actually provide feedback to the respective regulatory bodies and government to actually really continuously evolve their framework as well.
Well, in terms of telecom tech convergence, what is the biggest underestimated risk that you really see on the horizon?
I think there's a lot of companies that are evolving into both not just telecom companies, but technology companies. And I think the biggest risk usually is on execution because the agility, operating model, culture across these two very broad section of type of companies is actually very different. Some may operate faster, some may be more attuned to certain regulatory frameworks, and therefore you need to have an eye on the ball on both sides.
And how would you say that you prioritize M&A and partnerships in shaping E&'s tech-co ambitions?
Both M&A and partnership is a how. We actually take a step back. In our overall strategy, we devise what the top-down view or vision is. In many cases, the objectives are also formed during that process. And once that is done, we go into what we call a buy, build, partner type model to assess what is the best way and how best to execute against this strategy.
Okay, let's touch on sustainability. How is it embedded into your group level strategy and in your investments?
Interestingly enough, sustainability is one of the Ds in our 4D framework within our strategy as part of delivering things sustainability. And how we look at it is across a very broad cross-section of sustainability across environmental concerns. So we're putting in new technologies to upgrade our network to be less energy consumption. We have, for example, a SIM card factory that is utilizing recyclable material to print SIM cards. On the social side, we partner very closely with various institutions on things like education and uplifting society, as well as financial inclusion to the broader community. On the governance side, we have a very robust framework in place, working closely as a publicly traded company within the Security Exchange, as well as the UAE Accountability Authority, to ensure that we have the best of breed of the capabilities in this area.
So comprehensive initiatives, really. And what is the boldest scenario that you're modeling for 2030, best and worst case?
I think the best case is we are truly indeed operating in many, many more countries. We are one of the largest telecom operators today, I think second or third in terms of number of countries in operations. We aspire to be first. We also have publicly announced targets on the financial side, certain targets that we want to hit on a revenue perspective, EBITDA perspective, and net profits perspective that we have openly communicated to our board, to our shareholders, as well as to the capital markets.
And staying with that, can you share with us one milestone that really illustrates EN's progress towards becoming a true global player?
I think the biggest one is when we actually become the number one telecom operator in terms of number of countries operating. I think that will be a key milestone within our strategy.
And looking forward, what does success look like for EN, let's say to 2030, and how will you measure that accurately?
For us, we look at that question in two areas. One is we will at least hit, if not exceed, all the financial aspirations that we have set out for across the financial metrics of revenue, EBITDA, and net profit. But what is also very importantly is to do it sustainably within the communities that we operate in, within the different stakeholders, whether it's the women entrepreneurs that we support, the venture capital fund that we also invest in startups within each region, and really driving the overall social and economic development in many of these countries.
Harrison, great to chat with you today.
Thank you again.